This is the plaintiff, Carol Grady. She says she brought her car to the defendant's repair shop, and after looking the car over, he told her it needed the steering control arms replaced and an alignment. She paid him, and not 30 minutes after leaving the shop, her head gasket blew. Why didn't he tell her she needed a head gasket, too? Now her engine is ruined, and she wants the defendant to return the $578.18 she paid him for the useless repairs he made, and is suing because he won't give her her money back. This is the defendant, Chad Abu. He says he did a diagnostic on the plaintiff's car, and she needed some steering work done. She paid him, and he ordered the parts and did an alignment for her. A few days later, her engine blew, and she called trying to cancel the job, but he already ordered her special parts, and he can't return them. Give her a full refund? No way. He's accused of being a bad mechanic.
All parties, please raise your right hand. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Grady, you brought your car over to Mr. Abu's shop and had some work done, and then he told you that he needed to order some parts to have additional work done, correct?
Yes.
And you authorized that work. What was that additional work that he told you was required?
He told me the control arms needed to be replaced, A and B, and then I can go ahead and pay for the parts. They can go ahead and order the parts. Then he told me he also did an alignment on my car because that's what I originally went there for, was a simple alignment. And then he told me it was $45, so I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pay for everything now. He said, okay. I asked him how much the price was. That's when he told me. Then he said it was for parts and labor. So I told him, okay, but 30 minutes after leaving there, my car would not crank. And I had a mechanic come look at my car. Even his mechanic that worked on my car came and looked at my car, and the car would not crank. So I was telling him, you know, I don't need the parts no more, but if I can get the car fixed, then I'll come get the parts when they're ready. Just text me when they're ready. But I was telling him that none of this is going to work, that I need all my money back, and he refused to give me my money back.
When did you ask for all of your money back?
A couple of days after.
Okay, and when did you realize that you weren't going to be able to get the car working?
The same day.
So if it broke down the same day, why didn't you call and ask for your money back the same day?
I did tell him. I called him and I told him, I say, my car is not cranking. That's when he had, I came personally up there, me and my god sister, and came and picked up his mechanic, and they had tried to give it a jump. The car would not jump.
Okay. All right, so you tell him, I'm not going to need those parts after all, and what does he tell you?
Oh, I'm not giving you your money back because I'm losing money. That's what he told me and my dad, because me and my dad came up there.
Okay, well, by the time you complained to him, he's already ordered the parts. I know that because I've seen the order forms. But you're not out $578.18, and you didn't have to do the job. So what is your position, Mr. Abu, on whether she should get any money back?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing? First of all, she brought her car for alignment and a diagnosis. She just bought the car. We didn't do no engine work. We do a suspension work. If we open the hood and check the engine, we will let her know if we see anything. We told her the parts exactly she needed, and we ordered the parts, and I told her the price, and she agreed to the price I gave her, and I ordered the parts for it. And she's right. She called me. She called about her car not starting. It was slow. Normally, I don't send my mechanic out to the road. It was quiet. I said, you know what, let's help her out. It's a difficult time we live in. So let her go check the car, see if it needs jump, if it needs something. And he went and checked it out for him.
And what was wrong with the car? Did you find out what was wrong with the car?
I think he gave the car a jump and a start. She called me a few days later about her car broke down. Not the day when the mechanic went, he took the jump with him. It's both ways. We didn't do any engine work. Completely, we didn't open the hood on the car.
And you keep mentioning that because what ends up happening is that it blows a gasket, right?
Yes, when his mechanic came out, the car did not start. He did not.
Okay,
give
well,
it
when
back.
did you find out
Yeah, so-
that there was a gasket problem? Because that truly does have nothing to do with the work that they were doing. They wouldn't know that there's a gasket problem. You had just bought this car. You didn't have it checked out by a mechanic before you bought it?
Yeah, I'm suing them too. Yes,
Yeah, I
I'm suing
figured.
them too because our
But
mechanic
you know,
shop
it's a used car, and you're not gonna get a lot of traction in that lawsuit. It's a problem because when you buy a used car, it's as is unless they give you a warranty. Did you get any warranty from them?
No, they told me nothing was wrong with the car. They had just fixed on the car. They told me it was nothing wrong with it. Now, when I took it to Chad, you charged me for parts and labor, and I texted you and I told you that I did not need it no more because I actually.
Let me see the text. Let me see the text you just talked about. That's on July 3rd. What is the day that you had the alignment done?
The day I had the alignment done, it should be on that receipt with the cash app
Yeah, it will be.
that I paid.
Okay, that's June 30th. So that means that if on June 30th was the day that you had the repair done, we're talking about July 1, 2, and then 3 is when you say, I have a blown head gasket.
Yes.
So, Mr. Abu, I understand that, you have a policy that there's no returns on special orders, and I know because I see the evidence that you ordered the parts. But what you're out for the parts is $131.56. Did the parts come in?
Yes, ma'am. It's in the shop. Been waiting for it to show up, so she didn't show up. I have the parts in the shop.
Okay. I understand what you are saying, but why would it ever be appropriate for you to keep the entire amount when you didn't even end up having to do the job because the car died?
First of all, the first $100 was for alignment and a diagnosis. And then when we find out what's wrong with the car, then when I add up the three, it was $100 first for the diagnosis and the alignment. So we find out that part was broken on the car. So we ordered the parts. It's way cheaper than the auto parts and it's the same warranty. So I buy like tons of parts from this vendor online. They give us a great deal. I buy from them. I order
And
special.
if you buy tons of parts, why can't you return it?
That's why it's a wholesale. That's why I don't have to go through the return. I talk to the customer. I break it down to them. Not just her. I have like thousands. I don't have no problem with ordering stuff. I explain it to the customer.
Let me ask you a question. The $578 included $100 for the alignment, Ms. Grady?
No, he's lying. That $100, that was for a down payment, and he said whenever I get the rest of the money, I could come.
Well, how much did you pay for the alignment? How much did you pay for the alignment, Ms. Grady, then?
He told me it was $45.
Do you have paperwork, Mr. Abu, from the day that you did the service for her?
The first day it was $100, which is for the alignment.
Yeah, I see. It says deposit. The $100 receipt that you gave her says deposit. How much did she pay you? Total, how much did she pay you, Mr. Abu?
$478.
Does that sound right, that you paid a total of $478? Because all you've shown me in evidence, Ms. Grady, is a cash app $378.18 and then an additional deposit of $100. So he's saying that the total that you paid was $478, not $578.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
Hold on, let me add that. That's about right.
Okay, so it's $478, not $578. Let's start with that. Mr. Abu, you're in Florida, right?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
there's some rules and regulations about itemizing invoices. I don't see where you itemized, the alignment costs $50 versus the alignment costs $100. Where's your itemization?
Wait, do you have the invoice there?
I do. I see an invoice that you've provided into evidence. Where's the customer's signature that you're supposed to have on these documents that corroborate that, in fact, they've approved it? I'm just, you're doing things a little sloppy is what I'm trying to point out to you.
Welcome back to the People's Court. I'm RV11. The plaintiff wants to know why the defendant didn't tell her that she needed a new head gasket when she brought her car in for an alignment. But the defendant says there's no way to know if head gaskets are about to blow by simply doing an alignment. Let's listen.
Now, here's where we are. We have $478.18 that has been paid by the plaintiff. And you placed an order, causing him to place an order, because I've seen the proof that he actually ordered it, for some parts. He feels just because you've decided that you don't want to do the job, that doesn't mean that he shouldn't still get paid. I feel he certainly shouldn't get paid the entire amount of the money because he didn't have to do the job. So I know by looking at the receipts that the parts themselves are $131.56. He should also get a reasonable cost for an alignment. I don't know why you're saying $100 was for an alignment. $100 was a deposit on the whole job. An alignment isn't $100. I live in Florida too. So I'm gonna allow another $50 for the alignment, okay? And that brings us to $181.56. But he's also, you know, that just makes him whole. He sold you something and you're the one who wants to cancel the contract. So he's entitled to what we call in the law his lost profits. He doesn't get to keep the whole thing because he saved himself the trouble of doing the work. That's worth something. That's a discount for you. That means he's entitled to make less. So what he gets to do is cover what he's out, and he also gets to collect his lost profits.
He told me the parts wasn't even there yet.
Yeah, the parts are yours when they get there, so you can resell them or do whatever you want to them. So what ends up happening then is that between the parts and the alignment, it's $181.56. Plus, if I allow him to get $100 in lost profits for his trouble, that would be $281.56. And if I subtract from that the amount you've actually paid, then that means he's got to return some money to you. And I find him liable to return $196.62. That's what I'm ordering him to pay you. Good luck, folks.
Wow. He only got to pay me $100 and something.
So the plaintiff prevails. The defendant's got to give $196 back to the plaintiff. That's what she's supposed to get. Mr. Abu, let me ask you a quick question on this. Obviously, number one, what do you think about the judge's decision?
I mean, it's really I talked to the owner of the car. We agreed on the work. We agreed on the parts. She agreed on everything. That's why she paid in full. I mean, I don't see why I have to give her money back. Even though I have her parts here, she didn't come to pick them up. If her car breaks down, that's not my issue. That's her issue. She buy like a bad car. I don't know. It's her issue. I don't know why I have to give her money back. I pay for her parts that she's supposed to come pick up, but she didn't.
Suppose she comes to pick up the parts now. Will you give them to her?
The parts has been waiting for her for probably since July the 14th. The parts been here. It's been here for like 2 months. And she never showed up.
All right, very good. Well, thank you very much. Sorry, but that's the judge's verdict. Ms. Grady, you just heard Mr. Abu. He said the parts are there waiting for you. You're going to get $196 back. That's what he has to give you back, okay? But the parts are there. You going to go get them?
Well, why would I go get parts that I don't need?
You don't need those anymore.
No, that's what I was trying to explain to him, and I don't feel like this case was even fair. Because why shouldn't I get all my money back when he only did a simple alignment on my car? And he kept telling me, my dad, and my mom, the parts was not there. So all that he feel like he should not give me no money back, that's bull.
Well, unfortunately, I know you're upset, but that's all you're going to get back, $196. Next time you buy a car, get it looked at first by a mechanic. Save yourself a lot of trouble, you know? Okay?
Oh, I'm suing them too. I'm suing them too because a mechanic sold it to me. Thank you.
Well, good luck to you. All right. Another car problem case. We have a lot of those here in the People's Court. Let's see what the judges feel about this. Here's another session of After the Verdict.
In this case, you were presented with a situation where there was a 15-year-old car and the parts were special ordered and the alignment gets done, but after that, boom, the head gasket blows and the car basically is worthless.
Yeah,
apparently.
I feel terrible for her, but
Tough situation for her.
yeah.
But obviously no relationship between the suspension components and the head gasket in the motor.
No, there really isn't. And I mean, I hear, when she says, why should I XYZ? Of course, none of us want to be in the position that she's in. That makes sense, but you contracted to do something and he relied on your representation you were going to pay for it and he ordered
provided
the parts.
services.
Right.
I mean, he aligns the car for her, he diagnoses the problem with the suspension or the components that he did order. And at the end of the day, she owns those parts, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
I guess, for what it's worth.
For what that's worth. I
comfort
know
for
that's
the
cold
consumer
comfort for her,
under
but
the circumstances.
you know, there are consequences to ordering stuff, and then through no fault of his, she doesn't want to proceed with the contract.
Right,
you know?
right, certainly. And look, it's a Nissan from 2005. I think they built about 250,000 of those cars and sold them in the U.S. So those parts have value. Hopefully she can put them on eBay if she's not going to use them. Maybe make a few dollars and claw back a little bit of what she's out
I hope she can.
Right?
Hey Harvey, if a neighbor kid gets hurt jumping on my trampoline, could I be liable even after warning the parents something could happen? And should I have them sign a waiver? Well, here's the thing. If you are not supervising children jumping on a trampoline and one of them gets hurt and it's the other, if it's the other parent's kids, you could be liable for failure to supervise. But there's got to be some negligence attached to this. If the kid just gets hurt and there's no negligence and you've supervised, as Judge Millian says, too bad, so sad. That'll do it for this case. Litigants are inside the courtroom for the next case.